SCP-9411. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Subject is to be contained in a steel lead-lined box measuring 10 meters by 10 meters by 10 meters, cooled to negative 11.1 degrees Celsius. Containment cell is to be equipped with a bed, table, jar of pencils, a notebook, swapped out weekly for review, a standard bench pressing set, and a sink. Subject is to wear a controlled shock collar equipped with a tracking device and is not to be removed under any circumstances. Class D personnel are to enter the subject's containment chamber every week with a list of questions handed to them by researchers. Responses from 9411 will be documented. Class D is to also check for any cracks, holes, and to replace the notebook in 9411's containment chamber. When the Class D is released, vital checks for any instances of 9411-1 on the Class D are to be made. In an event where 9411 attempts to breach containment, security personnel are to immediately respond with high-caliber rifles and stun batons. Upon SCP-9411 becoming incapacitated, narcotics must be applied. SCP-9411 is to then be brought back to its containment cell. In the event of 9411 going full breach, MTF Alpha 9 are to respond immediately and locate 9411. Upon discovery, it is to be incapacitated by any means necessary. Upon 9411 becoming incapacitated or unable to fight back, narcotics and sedatives are to be administered and 9411 is to be brought back to its containment cell, sedated, and security are to remain on high alert until further notice. Immediate exposure to 9411-1 can be treated. Anyone affected by 9411 will now be referred to as 9411-2. Anyone affected by 9411-1 must immediately be brought to a room cooled to nowhere above negative 11.1 degrees Celsius. 9411-2 will remain in the refrigerated room for no less than 3 hours, as 9411-1 does not appear to be able to spread in cold conditions. Once the corrosion stops, 9411-2 must be placed under narcotics and transferred to the nearest infirmary for skin grafts on areas affected by 9411-1. Anyone affected by 9411-1 and not treated for 30 minutes after exposure is to be terminated. SCP-9411 is to wear a pair of standard issue ACG 400 gloves to decrease risk of exposure to 9411-1. In an event where the gloves are to come off, 9411 is to be demanded to put them on. However, depending on the context, exceptions may be made. If 9411 does not comply, it is to be brought to its cell, and security is to be increased until it complies. The containment cell 9411 is assigned to is to be connected to a stable power supply. If power to 9411's containment cell is to be cut at any time for any reason, power is to be restored, and security is to immediately locate 9411 and recontain it. Failure to do so will lead to a full containment breach and mass casualties of both civilians and on-site staff. Description: SCP-9411 is a human creature measuring approximately 2.19 meters in height and 149.8 kilograms in weight. Subject has no lower jaw, with its lower jaw being replaced with an unknown make of metal, along with teeth poking out of a line of flesh bordering the top of the metal jaw. 9411 shows modest signs of malnutrition. Subject always wears a pair of circular red glasses with various patterns of stitches all over its face. The origins of the metal on 9411's jaw remain unknown. Subject does not have human ears. 9411 instead has a pair of black wolf's ears and a pair of 2 lines of frills on the back left and right of the subject's head. The frills are lined in a way that it does not correspond to any known living organism. When questioned about this, 9411 refused to elaborate, stating that it has had them for as long as it can remember. Subject's arms and legs are covered in a black, thick liquid that is similar to glue on contact. The thick liquid is referred to as SCP-9411-1. Further questioning reveals this liquid is contagious, with 9411 being able to control its ability to spread or not. Tests on SCP-9411-1 reveal that it corrodes anything it spreads to, similar to the effect of SCP-106, except it mutates and spreads over infected individuals all over the body. Once the entire subject is covered with 9411-1, the body will decay and melt into a puddle of 9411-1. This effect does not apply to non-living objects. Once the body has been consumed, the puddle will decontaminate and rot over a period of 6 to 9 hours until there is nothing left. Note that once SCP-9411-1 has completed decomposition, molecules that went airborne were not harmful in any way. SCP-9411 has cybernetic armor plates on each side of its head. Upon the subject's glasses being removed by any means, these armor plates will move outwards and cover the subject's face. Mentioned armor plates are 100% bulletproof and serve as an alternative form of armor to 9411-1. Please note that there are concealed throwing knives on the armor plates, and staff are to remain on high alert when testing. Any photography related to 9411-1, including photos and videos, 9411 will not appear in the photo, instead taking the form of a randomly generated civilian. This does not include artist descriptions. 9411-1 possesses knowledge of technological advancements far beyond anything humanity has ever accomplished. 9411, with easily being able to rely on 9411-1 for combat, instead prefers, but is not limited to, a brute mace, road signs, lead pipes, steel rebar, or a katana for combat. Later questioning reveals that 9411 shows disinterest in relying on 9411-1 unless as a last resort to kill or incapacitate an opponent. Subject does not wear clothes other than a pair of black shorts and previously mentioned circular red glasses. Subject's skin appears devoid of pigmentation, with extensive amounts of scars in the torso region, with even more on the arms. 9411 does have eyes, but they are very sensitive to light, and it is currently unknown as to what holds the glasses on the subject's head, as closer inspection reveals that the glasses are not held up by anything visible. The back of 9411 is lined with spikes that appear to be made of SCP-9411-1 that extend from the back of the neck to the lower back section. Subject has proven in several tests to have superhuman movement capabilities, with scaling flat walls without issue and being able to run at 47.8 km per hour to 64.1 km per hour. Subject is able to use currently unknown methods to throw itself off of walls at a considerable speed, as camera footage of security breaches suggests this method was used to chase down multiple security and research personnel. Subject's upper body strength is exceptional, being able to press up to 226.8 kilograms, and it can pry open a standard steel containment door in no more than a minute. Note that this varies whether the subject is angry or not. Subject is extremely resistant, not reacting to physical trauma in any part of its body except for its head. Subject also does not react to extreme temperatures, hot or cold. Testing also reveals that 9411 does feel pain but refuses to acknowledge it, as interviews reveal that it is aware of its own regeneration capabilities. There are no known methods on how to terminate 9411-1. The subject appears indestructible. SCP-9411's regeneration seems to rapidly accelerate when it kills a human being. Any attempts to terminate SCP-9411 are strongly ill-advised, as the subject will fight back viciously to termination effort. No termination attempts are to be made unless SCP-9411 is either sedated or unconscious beforehand, as testing reveals SCP-9411 does require rest but will not wake up to physical trauma. Exceptions apply to cross-testing. Subject is completely unable to speak, as with the previously mentioned lower jaw. 9411 must be given a piece of paper and pencil to write down responses to anything other than a yes or a no question. Subjects can be stunned by Tesla gates or heavy caliber round fire to the head. Stun batons and taser guns can also briefly stun 9411. Subject can escape the pocket dimension of SCP-106, rendering the subject as the main candidate for its recontamination. It is currently unknown what methods 9411 uses to escape, as it refuses to elaborate when questioned about it. Testing remains inconclusive. Upon 9411 becoming highly enraged, physical capabilities amplify extensively, including but not limited to noticeable increase in physical strength, movement speed, athletic performance, overall stamina, reaction time, and extensive ignoration to any and all physical trauma, along with the subject becoming unresponsive to any and all forms of communication. This has been seen during cross-testing, contamination, breaches, and all termination effects. Subject origin is completely unknown. Foundation staff are ill-advised to question 9411 regarding its origin.